Welcome to the beginning of the podcast that Mike has put no time limit on. He has nowhere to go and nothing to do and feels like he's going to be more actively involved this week. Like he's pumped. If you watch this on YouTube, you'll see him physically jumping up and down. He is so excited this week to be on the podcast. What did you do today, Mike?
I am doing a French drain job.
Ooh,
One of
drainage.
my three that I've signed up from my many drainage leads.
Is
And
the
PSA for anybody who hasn't got a contact lead from their website in a while, test it, because I think it's been a month since I haven't got a lead from my website, and that kind of fell through the cracks. And then I finally tested it, and it's not working. So I don't know how many leads have fallen through the cracks for me.
the website provider we were using was supposed to shut our website down on June 1st.
Mm.
Maybe
Jackson,
he sold your website address.
no, Jack says I own it till 2028 because I put Jack on this problem.
Oh,
This isn't the kind of problem that I handle.
like I hear that some people will like buy them as soon as they're up and like hold them hostage, and they want like thousands of dollars for you to get your website back.
Yeah,
Happened to a couple of people I know. That's
that's a whole
fucking
industry.
crooked. That's raw. I
The
have no patience for
website
those people.
squatters.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
they'll speculate and buy domains. So there was I don't know the NFL too well, but there was an NFL team that was moving quite a while ago, and people were speculating on the name and buying the domain name beforehand.
Well, they're not expensive, right? So
Yeah, so they just bought like tons.
yeah.
didn't like Burger King buy McDonald's domain? Then they had to buy it off them or something. There was something like that
There
happened
was
when
like Fox 19th century became Fox, no, Fox 20th century became Fox 21st century, and they didn't have the domain, but somebody had bought it like a decade before. And when Fox became Fox 21st century, they needed the domain. So they had to buy it from.
this all seems like something that could definitely happen at Paver King.
So I just bought MikePennington.com. Are you interested in buying it from me, Mike?
I'll trade you for the landscape daddy.
I don't know. Is that something?
I bought it already.
Did you?
Yeah. So I'll trade you your Mike Pennington for my landscape daddy. Two can play at this game, baby.
Yeah, that's good. You're quick.
Oh yeah. Not today. That's the only thing
Not
I was quick
today.
at all day.
Oh, I didn't have a good day either.
I had a terrible day.
Safari can't find it.
Fucking
Oh, I
ridiculous.
can find it. The landscape daddy. You can still buy it.
Oh,
I'm gonna text Jack right now, ask him to buy it for me.
I'm on it.
Are you gonna well, whoever gets it, just
You got
hand it
time
over.
before this podcast episode airs, so Friday's your deadline. You need to pick it up. Otherwise, one of our listeners will.
Yeah.
look, I forced your hand.
Yeah.
I forced your action when you were picking inaction.
Yeah.
If you don't make the choice, it will get made anyways.
Hmm.
Someone said that to me once.
I got a choice made for me today.
What was that choice?
Ready for story time?
Bring on a story here too.
Oh my God. I took my guys off a big job this morning, because we had a hydro seed job coming up that had to be power raked this morning. A field of weeds. Absolutely ridiculous. You can't hydro seed this. It's a fucking field of weeds. Take my two of my best guys off, put them in the power rake on the mini at this job in the morning. The client's been hounding me for the last 2 weeks. Can you get here? Can you do this? Yeah, great. Organized with the other contractor who was originally supposed to do the topsoil and find a hydro seed guy. He found me after looking all over fucking Ottawa. So I said, well, it's your job. Do you want to put some manpower
Mental
on it?
note: advertise hydro seeding in Ottawa.
Yeah. No. I don't want to go to the Ottawa market. It's garbage. I'll take my own market. But anyway, I said to the other contractor, I said, you want to put some manpower on this? It's your job. You can make a couple bucks. He goes, yeah, great. No problem. I'll have some guys on the rake. So the guys show up this morning, power rake, get it all done. It's 2:30, all good. The other contractor goes, oh, we may spread a little bit of topsoil before seeding tomorrow. The fence guys show up. They're not supposed to be there till July. All of a sudden, we can't hydro seed tomorrow because the fence guys are there. Call the homeowner. I said, what do you want to do? He's like, oh, no, I still want to hydro seed. I'll see if I can move them around. Let me talk to them. An hour passes, calls me back. He's like, okay, so we're not going to hydro seed at all. It turns out we're just going to sod next week. And sorry, just send me a bill for what you did today. And like I hung up the phone and I got more pissed off as the day went on. I'm just like, I took two great guys off the job they were doing to prepare this job that absolutely had to be done before the rain came. And now we're losing $5,000 from not seeding the job.
When is the rain coming?
Friday, Thursday or Friday. You're going to seed it all tomorrow. So I called the other contractor. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I wouldn't have put my guys on this if I knew that he was going to pull the whole job. And he goes, oh, he wants to protect his investment. And he doesn't want the seed to wash away and all this stuff. I'm like, he's the one who said he wanted the seed down before it rained. And anyway, so I'm pissed off at the fence guy. I'm pissed off at the other contractor.
Who isn't pissed off at a fence guy?
And yeah, that's it. And I'm pissed off at the homeowner who owns Mazda, the Mazda dealership in Cornwall. So I sure shit, I'm never going to buy a stupid little Mazda ever in my life. Stupid little lesbian cars.
Fuck Sky Active
But-
Technology.
Oh, I can't stand a Mazda. Now it gives me a reason to. But anyway. And to top it all off, the owner of the fence company that threw the stick in this spoke tried to add me to Facebook today.
Did you accept his request?
No, I almost jumped down his throat with a message about how fucking stupid his fence guys were.
Stupid fence guy.
Stupid fence guys.
Scourge
yeah.
of society.
Yeah. So anyway, so we lost a $5,000 seeding job after putting it on priority. And then another client randomly texted me and said he's got to cancel his job. So
What's his job?
it was an overlay and some stuff that I didn't want to do anyway. But we're running out of work here.
Yeah, I feel you.
So like I feel like we're going through it too fast. And I'm at this weird spot where do I want to slow the guys down or do I want to hit a wall with no work? I don't know. What's better?
Hitting a wall with no work.
Because, yeah.
Slow people. You're better to hit a wall with no work and then get them to do something around the yard till work opens up. And because if you slow them down on the job, then you just establish a new pace.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I have to do something. Like something has to change here.
Saying I'm right isn't going to boost ratings of this podcast. Mike says we have to be controversial.
That's true.
Some of them are already slow enough that I can't bear a slower pace out of them.
I can't, even though I'm running out of work, I can't bear to watch you work slower than you are.
Yeah. Yes. That's absolutely it. It's painful watching some of these guys work. And the woman who drove the rock truck at our property last year, whenever we were stacking topsoil, came to me yesterday and pleaded for a job. She says, please, I have no job. I'm on welfare. And she's a nice woman. Like, I'm sure she's capable and stuff. I'm just like, I can't.
What happened to the rock truck company?
They didn't take her back because they're slow too. It's a terrible problem. Yeah, it's a problem this year. Yeah.
I mean, we've been lucky we picked up the wall job. We've just been anything that comes up that someone says, can you do this? I just find a way to do it now, in the now. Because if
that's what I tried to do with the seeding job.
How'd that go for you?
Yeah, real fucking great. My God. I almost jumped down.
Great with me at the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't billed the guy for the work that we did today.
You should bill him for the whole job.
I was gonna take it easy, but now I'm gonna throttle the guy. Like no mercy. Like I'm talking like $135 a man hour.
You should. Fuck
It's
that guy. How
or
much money has that weaselly little guy made selling Mazdas? He's got
I
fat.
know
He's got fat Miata money.
he just bought a huge or he just built a huge house. Crimea River guy.
He built it off fat Miata money.
Yeah.
How much money that
Uh,
guy made fixing the transmissions and the fucking RX-8
in a rotary
and the
engine.
rotary motor? That guy made a mint off that rotary. He probably built the indoor pool on his mansion off the RX-8 rotary motor. Shit box Mazda car. Oh, today, last night at 9:30, I made a crucial error, and I went against. I didn't go against like a personal thing. I knew at the time, as it was coming out of my mouth, I'd made a bad decision. But I forged ahead in my air-conditioned seats with my glasses half full attitude. A big client of ours, we're floating their excavator, and he reaches out and he says, "Listen, there's some loads of dirt that got to move. Can you get the Don to load the dirt?"
Mm.
I reached out to Don. I said, "Hey, Don, there's like a 14-ton excavator with a tilt rotator on it at this very small residential property and huge piles of dirt everywhere. Are you comfortable loading the truck?" And much to the Don's credit, he said, "No, I am uncomfortable with that situation." And I thought, I'm happy to know that someone's comfortable enough working for us that they'll say they're uncomfortable with the situation because
Wait, he didn't put on his resume that he can run a tilt rotator
he did not.
on the resume that he never gave you.
On the resume he never gave me, he did not. So
35 years experience driving a truck, 0 years with a tilt rotator.
0 years with a tilt rotator. So similar to me. So I messaged the client, said, will there be an operator there? He said, no. I said, listen, I'm in Peterborough anyways. I'll go down there and I'll load the truck. And that was the crucial error. Because the crucial error is I was just going to go down there and do it as a favor because this particular client has done a lot of stuff for us and is a really good client and always pays. And he's paying for the truck and he's paying for the driver. And I was like, you know what? It's not a lot of time out of my day to run down there and throw a few loads on. So I got down there with the excavator and in the residential neighborhood. I was like, oh, I feel like this is a bit awkward. Like just fucking sitting on a finished paved road. And anyways, I loaded the truck. Well, first of all, there was some concrete dude there. I don't know what his damage was, but he just like started giving me a super hard time as soon as I got to the site. I was like, man, I'm not even supposed to be here, you fucking motherfucker. And so I just bit my tongue because I was like, hey, you know what, whatever. And maybe he's having a bad day. So we start loading the truck. We get all the loads out. I'm gonna put the excavator on the float. So I got the bucket and the claw thing on the tilt rotator, which was actually like kind of pinched. Just anyways, I got the bucket. I'm out on the road. I have it's a 14 ton, so it still has a blade on it. So I got the blade pointed to the back, but that kind of fucks up when you're rolling the bucket under.
Curling it in, yeah.
So the Don says, can you spin that thing around when we put it on? And I said, sure, that seems reasonable. And I spun it around, and in my dehydrated, I only slept for like 2 hours last night because Paisley had soccer at some godforsaken time and didn't get home till 1 o'clock. So I was overtired. I was dehydrated because I hadn't drank anything all day today and it was hot. I was hungry because I hadn't eaten any food for the day because of the keto diet and not having access to whatever. There was no access to pepperonis on this job site. Also, right around this house, for some reason, your phone has 3 bars, 5G plus, but doesn't work. So I spent an entire day with my phone not working. which causes a shit ton of anxiety for the 100 phone calls. So in this realm of everything going on and me not functioning great, I think I spun the excavator around on the road. I put the bucket down and spun the excavator around and spun it through the curb
Mm.
and shattered, like, I don't know,
Ah,
$3,000 to $5,000 with the curb.
nice.
And I thought, that is the perfect end to this day.
Yeah.
So I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty pissed at myself for doing that. Because I generally pride myself on not hitting a lot of shit or breaking things. But then I was really happy that I didn't kill some fucking kid in my dehydrated, dazed, not supposed to be there state. And then I thought, what would I do if one of the guys did this? Or one of the women? I said, I'd shrug my shoulders and say, send me a bill. And I'd pay to fix it. Because that's what I do for everything that happens. And I never really get mad at them because they didn't do it intentionally. And I thought, I should give myself a break on this the same way that I give everyone else a break. It's pretty reasonable. I wouldn't yell and scream at them. Now, none of that's panned out because I've still been full of self-hatred since I did it. More than normal self-hatred. Probably like amped up 2 or 3 points past my normal 7 points of self-hatred. But whatever, that's how that went. And not all that, you know why all that happened? Because I was doing someone a favor.
It's always how it goes.
Yep.
Every
It's
single time.
it's got nothing to do with the client. It's just as soon as you enter into a favor agreement, you know something ridiculous is going to happen. You know how many times I've put a bucket down and spun a fucking excavator in my life? Like 100,000 fucking times. I've never put one through a curb ever before in my life, ever. And it just, and I didn't even know I hit it. It's like, what kind of curbs are they pouring in Peterborough? What the fuck is going on in Peterborough? It just,
Yeah, that's a nightmare. On a hot day too, that's extra bad.
I think part of it too is that for like the last 18 or 19 months, I feel like I've been in a well. And every time I get to the top and I put my head out and I take a breath and then someone just shoves my head back down in the well. And that's been going on for 18 months. And we are so close right now, so close to being able to break free of the well and bust our way out. But it's like hours, days and hours away. We have a new deal with a productive bank. We are owed enough money that we will be able to pay off any debts we have, get ourselves completely out of the hole from the fucking last asshole that we were working for. But I think these days where it's right at the end is there, or even fucking worse when someone shoves your head down back under the water. And today I was in the yard and I was like, man, we have so much shit and so many people counting on me. And we were so close to losing all of this stuff because of my shitty decisions. And I also smashed the curb today, which made me feel like a bag of shit. I was sitting in the yard at 5 o'clock and I was like, man, I'm so fucked up right now. Thank God it's Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can own a business and not have days where you feel like that. Or maybe you can. Maybe I'm the exception to the rule, and I'm the only one that feels like that and has moments where I'm like, man, I'm so fucking close to losing everything and fucking up all these people's lives. Which I actually care. My life getting fucked up is here and there, but fucking up all the other people around me's lives I'd be fucking devastated.
I think you have to be mentally tough to own a business, right? Like you have to be tougher than your average person, or you can't make excuses for yourself. Because day after day, my workers will make excuses for what they do, but I can never make an excuse for what I do. Right? I don't get the opportunity to forgive myself if I hit a curb and shit.
I tried though.
I feel it right in the fucking wallet.
I don't even care about the money.
I do.
I don't give a shit. It's not the money. If that curb was 50 grand, I fucking could care less. It's the fact that I did it. I don't give a fuck about the money at all. It's the fact that I was incompetent and I made a mistake and I could have killed someone. I don't care about the money. I guess I'll like the difference between me and you is I never care about the money. It's not a motivating factor in my life at all. And that
So why don't you go work at the dollar store or something? Like,
because I hate people telling me what to do.
why don't you be a computer programmer or something
Because
like
I'm not
that?
smart enough. I wish I was.
This is the only thing you can do.
Apparently, it's the only thing I've ever done. And when I tried to do something else, I was grossly incompetent at that. I did try to do something else legitimately for 18 months. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what motivates me to do this. I've thought about that a lot lately, mostly because we're having these conversations about these luxury trucks and you saying, I like really nice things. I mean, like, I don't give a shit about nice things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with liking nice things. I just doesn't enter into my equation of things I care about. That doesn't make it right or wrong. And I thought maybe I should care about having nice things. So I was driving the luxury pickup truck today and my day was fucking total shit. I was taking the fucking Veloster today. Fuck air conditioned seats.
Not in this weather. Don't fuck air conditioned seats.
I didn't
It's
even use
30
that.
degrees out. My God.
You know what I did? I rolled up the windows and turned and blasted the heat to make myself suffer the whole way back because I hit the curb.
Yeah, because that
Turn
helps
on the
your
heated seats.
dehydration.
Yeah, you got to make yourself learn. I don't know. I don't like. It's not. It just isn't the money. It's not like when I looked at that, I didn't see money. I was like, "Fuck, man! What if that was a kid?"
I can understand that. But
You know,
also, if there was a child around, you likely wouldn't have gotten in the excavator and put the lever down. You know,
realistically,
like
yeah,
there are steps that led up to that not being a kid. The
that's
fact
true.
that you looked around before you got in the excavator,
I didn't think about it that way.
and like it's not that you failed at every step. You failed at the step that meant not swinging the ass end of the excavator into a curb.
You know what part of it too is and again, it's not the money. It was like my own. I I consider myself to be good at that, operating an excavator. I do. Like I don't consider myself to be very good at many things, but I'm a good excavator operator and I'm a good truck driver. Past that, I pretty much fail at everything else. And I'm like, now I'm even failing at the fucking shit that I'm good at. And I think that's what bothered me more. Like the money comes and money goes. It's as long as your bills are paid, as long as our bills are paid, I don't. It doesn't bother me. But
I don't know. I work
pride,
way too hard for money to go. Money can come, but I don't like when it goes.
and I feel like that's fair. I wish maybe if I cared more about that kind of stuff, I would. I wish I did. I just never see the world like that. I think it's the right way to be. I think you're right, and it's the right way to be. I just, it just doesn't. I can't get into that mindset. I wish I could. I don't think about it, and that's probably one of the greatest downfalls of my whole life.
Like, do you have? You obviously don't have poor spending habits, right?
I don't buy anything ever.
Exactly. So if the money doesn't go and it just comes, then there should be a surplus of money from.
Generally, there is a surplus of money. Currently, there is not. But generally, when people aren't promising to pay me and making all kinds of bullshit promises that they were never going to keep, which is still my fault for doing the job. But generally, we have a bulk of money in the company. I mean, I think that we're well known for paying our bills on time, making sure everyone gets paid, fucking because I don't have I've started thinking that maybe I should start having atrocious spending habits.
Start now.
What would that do for you?
I don't know. Maybe I'd be happier.
What would you buy? A motorcycle?
No. I really want like a 1980s Dodge Ram Gen 1 Cummins turbo diesel.
I'm sure it's just as expensive as the curve you hit.
Probably. Probably invested in that curve that much money.
Yeah.
told Jack about it, and he's like, "Do you want me to send the concrete contractor?" I'm like, "No, let's wait till the house is built and see how much more shit I smash at that house before the end of the fucking job."
Maybe you can blame it on someone else. Wait till
No,
the snow and blame it on
I'm
the clearing
50.
guys.
I'm 50, man. I did it, and then I went to the two guys, the general contractor guy that's on site, and the concrete guy that was already thought I was an idiot and had yelled at me that day, and said, "Hey, just for the record, I'm the one that smashed the curb. I'm saying it out loud right now. If it comes up, I'm calling the owner right now. Oh, here's the highlight of this whole fucking scenario. Forgot about this. So I go to see the guys at the Canoe Museum because I'm around the corner, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Really fucking shitty." And they're like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's these huge piles of dirt, and this concrete guy was being a bitch, and I fucking just I was it was hot, and I was dehydrated, and I haven't eaten for fucking 17 hours, and I fucking smashed this curb, and that's so fucking shitty." And the whole time I was going on, and I don't remember exactly what I said during this conversation, my phone had pocket dialed the client, and it was all on a voicemail
Nice.
that I don't even know what's on the fucking voicemail because I don't remember because I was in a delusional, raging state. I'm mad at myself. Oh. Now my rant at my employees is fully recorded on my client fucking voicemail. It's like, oh my
Great.
God.
Awesome.
Wow. That's the worst case scenario. I got to find a new client.
We should get that recording and play it on the podcast.
I would love to. I would absolutely fucking love to. I think that would be tremendous. I think. Ah, that was the highlight of the day right there. Was
Yeah,
just recording a volatile voicemail on your biggest client's fucking like unintentionally, and nothing bad about him or his business. It was mostly about me being grossly incompetent, uh, and the concrete guy being a total dick.
mm,
But that's my expectation of people who form basements. Like I was watching them, and I was like, man, forming basements fucking blows.
yeah.
Like landscaping leads you down some shitty paths, but not tromping around in the mud trying to get some
In a hole.
sock pipe in the right
Yeah.
place, and the sides are caving in, and it's water's pouring in. Like you got don't. There's no sub. It's landscaping doesn't lead you to that place. Well, mine it has a couple times, but whatever. In general, it doesn't lead you to that place.
Today, landscaping led me to a meeting at a roundabout for a job we did 2 years ago, and it was a warranty meeting. Looking to close off the meeting and get our hole back. So I show up ahead of time, and there's this lady with her cut-off shorts on and her vest and her white hat, and she's poking around in the median, and I can just see the hard hat flailing in between the giant weeds that are as tall as she is in this entire median. I'm like, oh, great. Well, glad that part of the project came off warranty last year. So Baz, one of the estimators, pulls up beside me, and we're like, looks pretty good. All the trees are still alive. Flower beds are looking good. Hydro seed came in good. Just wait this one out as the lady is in and amongst the weeds counting. She's trying to count like fucking begonias or something like that.
God.
In and amongst. I don't even know. I don't know my weed species, but there's tons of them, right?
No,
And then the township shows up, and a couple other important people show up. And the lady comes over. She's like, we really need to get this circle median taken care of. And I said, yeah, that's off warranty now. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, that one's done. I said, it's on these guys now. And they're like, oh, you're right. Better send someone out. And then they proceeded to take 5 minutes and walk around the rest of the site, shrugging their shoulders. Oh, looks good. Looks good. You're missing one sumac. I said, oh, wait a year. It'll grow in. They're like, sounds reasonable. You can go. and I wasted 2 hours worth of fuel in the Dodge Ram 3500 diesel to get up there and back.
Were you using the cooled seats?
Oh, you bet I was. That whole ride home, we had the cold seats on. But anyway, we made it away from that one scot-free.
That's
Nice.
rare.
Oh,
That's a
yeah, I
fucking
know.
celebration.
Yeah. And then I get a $5,000 job canceled later that day. So we
Ooh.
both lost 5 grand today, Mike.
Technically, you lost less than 5 grand because you would have had the cost of the job in it. So you only lost like 20. I clearly lost 5 grand.
Yeah.
You
Well, if you
lost
count,
5 grand in revenue.
yeah,
What's the profit on a $5,000 hydro seating job?
4 grand.
Oh, so you did legit lose 4 grand. You're close to me.
Well, we take out the wages and take out the fuel and all this shit, maybe another $500 in there, 3,500
Material
bucks.
cost is 1,000 for that hydro seating.
So per load, we probably spend maybe $300 or $400 in material per load.
Wow. And then is there a lot of waste with hydro seeding? Like whatever's left over and do you just shoot it out and
Yeah, we always burn whatever's in it,
gotcha.
but we price based on the load or whatever, right? So
Right.
cover ourselves that way. It's hydro shooting's a good gig sometimes, but sometimes you just have to do it, right? Like it's part of your. If you don't do it, you lose the whole job.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to hire someone else to do it because then the whole package is more expensive. So we like to keep it in house.
We're pricing Jack and I are pricing a really big it's excavating a massive parking lot and then paving, then putting in the gravel, then paving that parking lot, and then there's crazy major earthwork, not crazy major, but major earthworks to go on as well on this property.
Hmm.
And it was an invite only tender, so there's only only two of us showed up to the mandatory meeting.
Oh,
Us and one other contractor who I quickly asked them if they wanted to fight. Winner takes the job.
are you bigger than the guy who showed up?
There was two of them. One I was clearly bigger than. The other one was taller and wider than me. So, and I had Jack.
Oh,
Well,
So you back up.
I hear Jack fights dirty.
he was lost at first though. So
He was
he
lost.
he did get to the back after because we were at this property that has like many different fences and areas. We were trying to determine where anyways. So we're pricing it and basically there's nothing for us there.
No landscape portion.
Well, we could spread the gravel but we don't have an excavator. We'd have to rent the excavator, rent rock trucks to move all the cubic. I think it's not a ton. It's like 11,000 cubic meters, but we can't. It's in a field, so you can't move it with a dump truck. It has to be a rock truck. You need at least a 20-ton excavator to load this shit. So we called an earthworks person that I do work with, and we called our paving guy. And basically, they priced the whole job. And I'm talking to Jack, and I said, like, I don't know, man, like, market the fuck way up. I don't care if we get it or not. There's nothing for us here. We have to put a site trailer there, and we have to put a supervisor. So one of the guys that have to go there every day and supervise two people, even though he has no idea what they're doing.
That's a good job for Jack though, because he could work mobily.
So we talked about that. We talked about me and Jack splitting time in the trailer, me doing it one day, him doing it another, which I think is fair. We talked about that. And we talked about just assigning one of our guys there and saying, you got to come here for the next 8 to 10 weeks and open the gate and let everyone in. And if we ever climb out of the well, which I think we're going to, I'm getting a GPS stick.
Total station.
Yeah, I'm getting one. 100%. As soon as we get it, that's one of our first purchases when we get out of the well is a GPS stick because it just eliminates all the layout problems. It eliminates all the fucking.
And then
Jack
a
looks
tilt
like a guy
rotator.
that holds a stick.
Who?
Jack looks like the guy that goes
Uh,
around with the stick.
I think Jack already knows how to use the one from his
Probably.
previous employer. But I would have some, like, you could apparently you can take online courses and stuff, but that's high on my list of things we're going to get, and we're going to train because I just think it changes everything for you when you know exactly where you're supposed to be and exactly what you're doing, and you're standing
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
300-acre field.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of things that change the world, so I ran a tilt rotator for the first time today.
And
Honestly,
did it
honest opinion.
manipulate your brain?
So there's a couple cool things it can do when you're digging, because I was jammed in a small space and you're digging towards yourself, and then you could flip it around and pull the dirt away from the tracks, which I thought was pretty
Mhm.
sick. And there was a couple times I was cleaning up along the fence, but other than that, to be perfectly honest, I found the thing cumbersome and slow. I would
Was
have
the
run.
throttle all the way up?
Oh yeah, it was cranked up. It's just, it sticks out too far on the end of the stick, and it's just cumbersome to me. Now, mind you, I've only run it for one day. So, and I was bulk loading a dump truck, which I don't think that that's the purpose of a tilt rotator, to bulk load dump trucks. So, to be fair to the tilt rotator, there's probably 1,000 things that I would have really liked doing it. Bulk loading dump trucks, I would have rather just taken it off and used a fucking bucket. It would have been faster. It would and for what it could, the things it could do to help me clean up, I could have done by moving the machine 3 feet. Well, I probably would have smashed $10,000 worth of curb then. So really, the tilt rotator saved me so much money today.
Exactly.
I also
Now you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, also in the tilt rotator's defense, no one taught me how to use it. So there's like it was a rototilt, which Chad we'll have to beep that out because Chad's Grib sponsorship won't like us talking about rototilts. But right? We're not supposed to talk about them on the podcast.
They're not sponsoring you guys.
Oh wow. I don't want
you.
You shared my tilt rotator thing today, and I was like, "Oh, Chad, are you gonna
I
get?"
didn't say what kind it was. I just saw a Cabelco thing.
Oh, it's red though.
Oh, I didn't.
Color of the hoses.
They're just black on a rototilt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's
but
more.
Then I posted a video of my grip doing amazing things today. So
I did see that.
You did.
Even Steven.
I could see how the thing would be good for some things. Bulk excavating, it is not good for. It was awkward. And the other thing is when you're swinging into a dump truck and putting it in the back of the dump truck, all that extra pistons and all that shit, when you're actually physically in the back of the truck, because I was swinging over the tailgate and then loading the side, all those pistons and shit, trying to be conscious of how close they are to the side of the truck. And it's just an added bunch of crap that you don't really need for what I was doing. If I was cutting a swale or something, or taking trees out and putting them into a fucking mulcher, I think the thing would probably would have come in handy. Yeah. But for what I was doing today in particular, it was not useful. But it was fun to run it and see how it worked. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Like on the rototilt joysticks, just literally like 40 buttons, but only two of them do anything. 3 of them. One runs the hook, the claw, one spins it, and one moves it side to side. The rest of them do. I don't know what do the rest of these fucking buttons do.
How many times did you accidentally use the horn? Because I still do that when I'm taking off my bucket. There's a disengage, and I always hit the horn bucket and scare the shit out of whoever's beside me.
So I must have hit the accidental horn at least 10 times today.
Yeah.
And I also, you're right. I did do a lot of accidental horning. I probably got my whole year's worth of accidental horning in one fucking day today. I do think that for the kind of excavating I currently would run, like I would do, like me myself, I wouldn't have a tilt rotator on a machine that I was running. That being said, I think I am going to make a bid on Instagram to see if someone will put a tilt rotator on my 8-ton and just let them imagine the content that I can come up with. And that the tilt rotator won't be me in a strapped on it spinning around. It'll be like a real one.
You should go after that Kitchener-based company.
Yeah, I'm going after the
Ling Long, Ding
ling
Dong.
longs. The ling
Ling
longs.
Long, that's right.
I want the fucking ling longs. What are you talking about? Who doesn't want the ling longs? Um. Anyways, I feel like if you were doing like what you're doing, like fixing boulevards and stuff, the thing would be super useful.
Mhm.
And I'm sure I would get better and better at it.
I'm
Um,
sure you would too. Yeah.
some of the things when you're like trying to dig sideways, like it just nothing has the balls to dig sideways, right? Like you got to work
But
the.
no excavator does well
Oh
pushing
yeah, no,
sideways, you know?
but that's what I'm saying. Like if the whole thing that everyone says is you can dig sideways, and I'm like, well, you still can't because there's just
Well,
balls in the excavator to do it.
you can dig up sideways, right? Like you can get through it if you have to.
Yeah, it's just painful,
Better.
slow.
Yeah, it doesn't like to do it, but it'll do it,
Yes.
you know.
And I when I was fucking around with that because I tried a bunch of different things in it. Because Dawn was gone. The Dawn was gone for like it was like a half an hour, 40-minute round trips to the dump and back. Um, uh, I did a lot of that kind of stuff to see how it would dig sideways, right? Um, one thing I did like though, I did like the weird bucket that's always on all the tilt rotators.
The Swedish bucket.
Is that what it? I did like it. I
Yeah.
liked the bucket. The bucket was good. It was it. I liked the bucket. I liked the whole thing. It just was sucked for bulk loading a truck, but whatever.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It was just slow for bulk loading a truck. There's too much hoses and wires and shit that you can hit and bash and damage and
Yeah,
smash.
you have to. And that thing will go right through the cab too if you're because it adds an extra couple feet to the stick length, right?
Yeah.
And if you got the wrong person on it, watch your
You could
knees.
smash the cab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually experimented with it to see how close it would get to the cab when I first started running it because I thought, I've heard about people putting these right through the fucking cab. So I should probably run a couple experiments and see how. And it actually couldn't touch the cab the way it was set up.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, good. I can't do that. I'll just smash the curb instead.
we
Okay,
we
fuck it.
rented ours out, our 4-ton, and I said, make sure not to spin it with the gripper completely open. You'll rip this wire off. And I get a call at like 3 o'clock on Sunday. Oh, I'm so sorry. I spun the thing around and ripped the wire off. Fuck, of course you did. The one thing I told you not to do is exactly what you did.
So why would that happen?
Because on the 4-ton, there's a wire. I don't know why there's like not your hose wire, your hoses, but an extra wire that comes down for some reason. But he was spinning 360 with the bucket with the gripper open and it nabbed the wire. I could probably zip tie it and it doesn't necessarily need to be where it is. But I've always got by fine without it, other than the one time I ripped it off. That's how I know that you can rip it off.
Mm.
But someone else ripped it off too, and then they fixed it. So,
Did that make you feel better about yourself in the time that you ripped it off?
well, yeah, because I told him about it, right? So I'll make the mistake and then tell other people not to do it. But if I tell you to do it and you still do it, then I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, no one told me to do it.
Oh, I have
Well,
a.
sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I'm
Um,
interested in what you're saying.
I'm not even interested in what I have to say. Um,
Hopefully
I went to
someone
look at
is.
this job today, and it's for this new Canadian who built a house. And I walked up the steps, and I'm looking at the house, and it's made out of like that plastic brick siding, like screwed in and stuff like this. And the septic bed is probably you have to walk up the steps, but by the time you're at the steps, you're level with the septic bed. So Yeah, it's fucking weird. I'm like, there's grading problems here. And so this new Canadian greets me and he takes me to the backyard. He's like, I need this leveled and topsoil and grass. I'm like, sod grass or grass seed grass? He's like, seed grass. Okay, fine. So we're going over the job. He's like, spread this, do this. And he's like, how much topsoil do you think? I said, oh, at least 4 trucks. He's like, no, 1 truck. And I'm like, we're not on the same page here. I'm like, well, you want at least 4 inches? He goes, no, 1 inch.
How do you spread soil 1 inch thick?
I don't know. And so now I've been wrestling with myself. Do I price the job for the guy?
No.
Or do I just, like, it doesn't make sense. Nothing on the job makes sense. And he's like, the people that referred me for the job says I buy the topsoil there. Well, I sure as shit know if I buy their topsoil, I'm not getting it. Because their topsoil is twice the price of mine. So do I do the job with their topsoil because they recommended me for the job? Or do I not do it at all?
I would just
I'm
price the
leaning,
job to do 4 inches, first of all.
yeah. Yeah. Have you ever priced the job to do something wrong just to get it because they told you to do it wrong? Or would you rather lose the job altogether by pricing it right?
I don't know that I've ever priced to do something wrong. I've gotten jobs where people have told me to do it wrong and then just priced to do it right, and then
Mhm.
just done the job the way I wanted. That's happened. I've definitely lost jobs where I priced to do it right when they told me to do it wrong.
Yeah.
Also, when I meet someone that you're just the way you're describing them right now, uh, who's very insistent on this is how it needs to be done, I usually just excuse myself before I leave and say, "Hey, man, we're not a good match."
Yeah. I can see
Because,
that.
but also, if you really need work,
Well, I don't really need this kind of work. I can sit at the yard and screen topsoil all day,
Yep.
you know, and we can work at the yard and put in my field bed and my septic system and all this shit. I don't need to go out and pull my hair out for a client who doesn't understand what needs to be done and then might not pay me in the end.
yeah. Jack and I got a well, it came from Jordan from DPR, a lead on a townhouse development in Whitby, which obviously you would say, whoo, close to home. That'd be great. But then there's no windows in the place, and there's 5 stop work orders from the Ministry of whatever, the Ministry of Employment, or what's it called? Ministry of Safety, MOS, MOE, I don't know, whatever. MOE's Ministry of Environment. What are these ministry people that come around, WSIB people that come around and do inspections? What the fuck are those people called?
TSSA?
No, they're like ministry of something. Ministry guy, ministry woman. Anyways, there's like 5 stop work orders or something, and the whole plate. And then some concrete truck was so pissed off it literally dumped an entire load of concrete on this base coat asphalt in the middle of the parking lot, like just released the truck.
Release the truck. I love
Place is
it.
a fucking shit show, and we just bowed out. I don't think anything productive here is going to happen for us. Like, I'll get the sense of productivity here. I get a sense of a lot of people not paying their bills here. Because when you go to a lot of construction sites, or even if you go to like a custom home like you did, and there's a bunch of fucked up, half finished stuff, like, yeah, no one got paid here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. No one got paid
No
here.
one got paid here. That's why half of this shit is
Is like this. That's why
yeah.
it's left like this.
Why there's a septic system that's sticking out of the ground and the fucking yeah, like just I just yeah. I would probably just not. I think that's one of those ones where you're better to put in your own septic system than put 1 inch of soil over someone else's.
Yeah.
How
No,
do you
for sure.
bulk spread 1 inch of soil?
I don't know. I don't think you can.
If it was me, I'd be more calling up the people that recommended me and say, "Really? You dumped
Yeah,
this fucker
what are you
on
trying
me?
to pull?
You dumped this motherfucker on me because you didn't want to deal with him yourself."
Everybody that like he's a nice guy too. Everybody that this company recommends has been shit.
Yeah.
Because they're
Like
keeping the good leads for
no,
themselves.
no, they're a material supplier.
They're
Right.
giving the good leads to someone else.
Well, they must be
You're
because
you're the second set of people that yeah, this guy looks like a weirdo. Here, call Chad.
call Chad, let him deal with it. Yeah, I don't know. But every one they've ever sent to me, you've given them their estimate and then they've not said a single thing. I put out like 4 estimates this week and not heard a single thing, not a thank you, not an anything. Nothing burns my arse more than that.
I also don't like
Yeah.
it when people don't even get that.
Oh,
Just
that drives
acknowledge,
me
just
nuts.
acknowledge it.
Yeah, just acknowledge my
Yeah.
time. I went to one, they're like, oh, the mailman won't deliver our mail anymore because the front steps are falling apart. Like we just want them repaired. Okay, sure. Little repair, 3 grand, whatever. Got to rip out 4 steps, put them back in, get it safe. You put the railing in after the fact. Oh, we want to use the same material. Well, if I break these, there's no getting more. You're using donors from elsewhere on the property, right? Like, what do you mean you can't get this stuff anymore? There's a 20-year-old brick here. What do you want? Oh, we want patio at the back with the same stuff. Again, we can't do it. We can, and why would you want to? Wouldn't you want something new and complimentary? How much is that going to be? Well, it's like a 25 by 25 patio. I'm like, I don't know, 20 between 20 and 25 grand with steps and shit. Oh my God, that's a lot. But what the fuck am I doing here? Your house costs $800,000. You don't want to spend $20,000 on your landscape? I
Yeah.
quit. I quit. Jesus Christ, it's been a week.
I went
And
on
it's
a
only Tuesday.
consultation and it was brutal. It was probably up there with one of my worst ones. It was an older couple. They just fought and bickered at each
They
other.
fought with each other or with you?
With me too, like between each
Ah,
other though. But it was like it was a front entrance, steps, and they had like 8-inch rises. They had 3 of them, and I was like, "Are you gonna try to keep the rise, or what are we doing with these steps?" And they were like, "Well, why would we change the rise?" And I was like, "Well, especially since they're older, I usually like lean more towards at least like 7 inches or less." And I was explaining to them that, and they're like, but it wasn't like why are we keeping their eyes like why would we change their like aggressive with their tone, right? And then it was like, okay, we could go down to like 6 to 7, but then we're adding a step, and then they would be like, well, why would we want another step? And then I had to explain to them, well, if we change the rise, then you're likely adding another step, and we're looking at regrading whatever or building some sort of raised patio or front entrance and blah blah blah. And like every step of the way was just like aggressive. uh yeah,
You
so
tell
I
him you are not a good match for me.
yeah, well, no,
you left
I
and you priced it high, like I would
no,
do.
no, I didn't even. I had my tape measure. I had measured the rise. I talked to them a little bit more, gave them a little bit more advice, and then I was like, okay, I got the information I need. And they're like, aren't you gonna measure the area? I was like, yeah, I just need to get something for my truck. And then I just went to the truck and left. It was brutal. It
I
was
just went
bad.
to the truck and left.
Yeah.
That's great. A
Uh,
lot of the times I won't even measure shit. Like I'll just
No.
show up. They'll be like, "Okay, this is what we want." I'll be like, "Okay, sure." Aren't you gonna measure? Nope, got all in my head. Like a waiter, the ones that don't write shit down.
Oh yeah.
Those are some of the best waiters.
you
I'm
think
banking on the same thing for your landscaper.
you're so because you're the
I
Tom
like
Cruise of
that.
landscaping, you're basically in cocktail all the time,
Yeah,
where he was the bartender, right? And he was remembering all the drinks and fucking you're
that's it.
basically
I got it.
you're just
I,
basically Tom Cruise of the cocktail of
yeah, I don't need your
cocktail.
color selection. I already got it. I know what we're doing here.
When was
Sometimes it
last
works, sometimes it doesn't.
when was the last time you really worked on color selection with someone?
Woo, Jesus. I'm in it right now. Like Should we go gray with black or gray with brown? Because the house is sort of gray, but it's sort of not. The back is gray, but the front's not. The front's more beige, and it's weathering different in the back than in the front. But we're doing the front, so
It's
what do you think?
weathering different in the back than
Yeah,
the front.
this is sort of an odd brick color, don't you think? Don't you see gray? No, I don't.
I'm
But
too busy. I'm
we
too
like
confused about
we like
how
the
it's
shale
weathering on the
gray.
northeast corner.
We like the shale gray, but not the dark part of the shale gray. So can we get the ones with only the light part? No, you can't. Well, that's shale gray and this is shale gray, but they don't match. Said different dye lots will give you a different color. Well, how do we know that they come from the same? You don't.
Yeah,
You live with it.
I dealt with
It's
that.
not the end of the world. Like you get it close, and that's good enough.
What was the final conclusion of the guy who watched you do everything?
Oh, he was super happy with the end product, and
I guess so. He watched every single thing.
he was sad to see me go. It seemed we formed a friendship in that awkward silence throughout the entire project.
How many weeks were you there?
How many weeks? I was probably there for 7 days.
7 days.
Yeah, 5
How
days, and
how
then it
many
was
hou-
rainy, and then I came back after the rain to finish up the project in 2 days.
So how many hours a day did you work?
On site, probably 10 hours a day.
So you spent 70 hours with this man.
Yeah.
Forming a deep bond.
Yep. We might even email back and forth every once in a while just to check up on each other.
Do you think that your newfound friend just moved on to the next person?
I don't
Now
know.
it's-
I'd like
now
to think
it's-
our friendship is deeper than that, to be honest.
You don't think he's hanging out with the roofer?
He's up on the roof for the next job.
Sitting on a lawn chair? He's standing down below and they're throwing the shingles and nails off the roof and they're landing on him. Like, I don't care. I need to be out with you. I don't give a shit about dust or shingles.
You have a harness for me? Can I get up there too?
So
Oh,